It's better for the. Do I look good like that?
You look great. Hello, everyone. I'm going to make sure we're rolling here. We are live. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the first official quarantine concert series. My name is Kabir Segal, and it's my great pleasure to present take number 2 with the incredible artist, multi-Grammy nominee, composer, artist, bandleader, Emilio Solla, or Soja, as you say it. And yesterday we tried this in earnest. We had some. I think we had a good time. We worked through the technology, and really, we're going through a difficult time in our country, and people who are obviously affected a lot are artists, because a lot of the gigs we can't go out and support the artists and enjoy their beautiful music. And Emilio's always struck me as an incredible artist. We met maybe 5 years ago now, and I've had a great pleasure of working with him and learning from him. So we thought, while we're socially distancing from each other, let's come together and play some music. So we're going to be hosting these quarantine concert series with some of my friends and some of these great master musicians. And we thought today, St. Patrick's Day, we should wear green. So Emilio is wearing green today for St. Patrick's Day. And why don't we just sort of kick it off? And you're welcome to provide comments. And, we're not going to get infected by your likes and love and comments. So, if you want to hear something, if you want us to respond to you, just ask a question, and we'll respond to you. And this is going to be kind of a Q&A, and it's also going to be a music concert live from Brooklyn. So I hope everyone enjoys it. I'll stop talking. I'll turn it over to the maestro himself. And Emilio, over to you.
Hey, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Kabir. Thanks for the introductions. Great pleasure to be here. We are all kind of locked at home. So we thought with Kabir that we would, play some music for you guys wherever you are, all around the world, just bringing positive things and music and spreading some poetic antivirus of some kind, if we can. Okay, let me get started. Let me see if we can put this to the piano, so the piano will look better than I do. And yeah, okay. Let's go with a traditional tango from Argentina, a beautiful piece that my friend Pablo Aslan has reharmonized and transformed into this very, heartful piece of music. This is Recuerdos de Bohemia, a very, very old piece of music.
Wonderful. Wonderful job. Sounds great.
It's great. Sounds coming out good.
Yeah, sounding good. I'm actually sounds great. What was the name of that piece?
The name of that piece is Recuerdos de Bohemia, Remembrance from Bohemia. Luis Delfino, around 1930s, something like that. 100-year-old piece, probably.
What was going on in Argentina in the 1930s?
Well, a lot. Actually, there was a big push there right before it. Then when with the recession and everything, when the big economic fall, they say things went pretty bad at some point. But around those times, Argentina was like a big nation. Was like really like a superpower economically. It was selling goods to everywhere you can imagine. It was really like a very powerful center all around the world.
Yeah.
You wonder how it got to where it is now. So that's
Yeah. What was going on musically in the 30s?
Well, tango was really going on very hard, because it had got like kind of a validation from tango in the beginning. It was very questioned in the middle class or the bourgeois in Buenos Aires, because it was seen, it had risen from the low neighborhoods around the port. It was considered to be like a very sinful music, if we can say that. So it was not very well regarded. But then when it hit in Paris, it became important in Paris. And then when the Paris people were coming to Argentina, so where can we go dance tango? Where's the tango scene? So somehow when it got validated outside, then it got really it became like more popular in the middle class, and it became like kind of validated in a way in Argentina. So by those times, that's what we consider the golden era of tango music. Around those times, you had orchestras, lots of tango orchestras playing everywhere, playing. You also think that at that time there were still recordings going around, like no DJs, like real orchestras. If you wanted to go dance, socially, there had to be an orchestra playing. So tango orchestras were very hot by the time, and everybody was working. So it was a very, very big time for tango music.
Awesome. All right, what are you going to play next?
I'm going to play a composition of mine that is based on more of a folk rhythm from the other side of the country, from the east. I mean the east, but all the part of the river. Like north of Buenos Aires, more into going in the direction of Paraguay and Brazil, and we have the Rio Paraná and the Rio Uruguay there, and they have these beautiful rhythms that are very very riverish, very watery, music that is played a lot with accordion and guitar. And this is a composition based a little bit on those rhythms, and it's called Conversas al lado del agua, Conversations by the Water.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Good. Walk me through the composition process of that song.
Composition process, interesting. I think I was trying to get some kind of sound that quotes a little bit of the music of that part of my country, and so I started looking for things in the left hand, kind of a groove, a pattern that would sound a little bit like a guitar. So this is how this started actually with the left hand thing. So I'm quoting that melody with the lower fingers, dun, 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 and the upper part is working like a kind of an arpeggio on the guitar.
Right.
So from there, I started working on this, on the melody. I think that the beginning came all together, and then it was just a process of development. Just start evolving the melody and I decided to keep that pattern going in the left hand all the way through. So that cost me a lot, because the work of the composer, you shouldn't compose, especially when you write for the piano, things that you can play, but more think of the music outside of the piano player. You shouldn't be the piano player when you're composing. So in this case, in some of the cases, then I find that the composer wrote something for the piano that is really challenging. It took me a lot of time to manage, that left hand, because it goes on and on throughout all the piece, and then I improvise on top of it a little bit. So that was a good year of work, to try to get this piece together. And still today, if I don't practice it properly, like some of the subtleties, because you have a melody singing in the lower fingers, and then a little bit of that guitar lighter thing on those fingers here. So you're splitting your hand in two, and on top of that you have the right hand to take care of, so it's kind of messy, but
Yeah.
it's all more or less there, I guess.
What percentage of that was improvised?
Well, when I go back to the beginning, I improvise the first part, and then I go back to the tune. So let's say 25-30%.
Right. Okay.
All the rest is pretty much written out.
Right. Okay. So what are you going to play next for us?
I would like to play another composition of mine, which is based on a folk rhythm from the west of the country, and that we call Zamba. Zamba with Z. It's nothing to do with the Brazilian samba, with S, as you will soon notice. It's kind of a 3/4 together with a 6/8 kind of rhythm, folk dance from the northwest of Argentina. And something I composed for a jazz club that we used to have in Barcelona, where I lived for 10 years. That is it was the Pipa's Jazz Club. Pipa is pipe, it was kind of a pipe smoker club, and they had a beautiful small concert hall there with a beautiful piano. And when I just came to Barcelona, some of my best concerts I played there with many different musicians, and it was like a little bit of what Small's Jazz Club is in New York these days, like a hanging place for musicians, where you would go if you were playing a gig around in town. You would go there to have a drink and meet musicians, and maybe jam session later, like something like that. So the Pipas, of course, close, as every club, they just close. And I wrote this kind of goodbye song that is called Las Últimas Pipas, The Last Pipes, which is based, as I said, on this slow folk dance.
Okay. Great. Vámonos.
Vámonos.
Wow. That was awesome, man.
Thanks, Javier.
I can tell you've been practicing.
Well, not much. You got me a little bit cold these days, like fixing other stuff. But yeah, I did today because you threatened me with this. So.
Exactly. So walk me through the process with that one. Where did you get the idea to make and write that song?
I don't know. I remember where I wrote it. I wrote it in my first apartment that I was renting in Barcelona, very close to the beach, and it just the first part just came up. This came like all together, the harmony and the melody. and I thought it was cool, so I wrote it down. You know, I do a very hard process when writing, even a small song like this, which is kind of, you know, leadership, you know, AABA kind of thing in a way. And but then, you know, I do a lot of work reharmonizing and thinking of small ideas, and there's a lot of subtleties inside the song. It takes me normally a lot of time to write until I'm happy with the result, even in something that is not, you know, very orchestrated or arranged like this. I remember I was working, and I have my notes. I was working on the bridge, which would be the right key for the bridge, where I have to modulate for the bridge, where to modulate, and I wrote down, I think, like 8 different keys, and I was trying around them, and you know, I don't know, yeah.
Yeah. Do you like what percentage of that was improvised, do you think?
Well, I played the tune upside down, and then I went back to the top and I improvised on the whole form, and then I recapped a little bit. So 33%, I would say.
Yeah.
Tune, so 33.
What who are some of your great influences musically growing up? Who are some of the great the people you love to listen to? And then you would say that you're competent because you're a great performer, but I also think of you as really maybe a composer first, and a arranger as well. So who are the great composers and arrangers that you listened to growing up that inspired you to write the way you do today?
Um, yeah, variety of different people. Stravinsky, Bach, Keith Jarrett, Bill Evans, Chick Corea.
Mm-hmm.
Back at that time, and a lot of I guess I, you know, have a lot of rock influence as well, though I'm not headed to that music. And of course Astor Piazzolla and Dino Saluzzi, you know, all the folk musicians from Argentina, Ariel Ramirez, Mercedes Sosa, Jaime Torres, that had a great influence for me. And then, you know, if I think of Genesis or Yes, or, you know, or those like symphonic rock in the 70s, I was totally into it. But although I'm not, you know, doing any of that music anymore. But yeah, Egberto Gismonti, Brazilian composer, Hermeto Pascoal, as well, from Brazil. Yeah, those are the first names that come to my mind. But I could probably list like a good 50 or 60 that. Debussy, Ravel, of course.
You strike me as a very, I mean, take this in the right way, a very kind of romantic composer. You know how to sort of play with the heartstrings and suspense. And is that sort of like something you learned, like as a composer? I don't want to call it a trick, but the chord changes that you're supposed to write, or the suspense.
It's just my own choice. I played a lot of different music, and now you say that. Now I remember I was really drawn to Chopin when I was back in the day when I was playing classical music. Frédéric Chopin had a great influence. I love his music. I would play like tons of music from him, and Rachmaninoff as well. I definitely have like romantic, like a very romantic approach. Not in the sense, you know, in the how do you say course in English? In the cheesy way, I hope, of romantic, but romantic in the sense also of the times of, you know, the arts period of romanticism, you know, like Beethoven into the romantic composers. That music struck me also very, very hard. It's I don't know. I think it's part of who I am, probably.
Yeah. All right. What are we going to play next?
Okay. How about a little homage for our green friends?
Yes. Today is a very special day. I see you're wearing green.
You're wearing green too.
I pulled out, this is a Wimbledon shirt that I had in the closet. I haven't worn this, I think, in probably 15 years, but I was desperately searching for green because in the South, we wear very bright colors, green being something I wouldn't wear in New York. But I'm glad we're both matched.
Yeah.
Matching.
Nice coincidence.
Yeah, exactly. So happy St. Patrick's Day. You know, everyone, when I told a friend today, this is actually what happened. I told a friend today, I said, hey, you know, we're doing this new concert series. And she said, you know, make sure you do something Irish because it's St. Patrick's Day. And I was, oh yeah. So I then emailed Emilio. Irish songs aren't in your typical repertoire, right? So we were trading. What should we play? So I think you came up with a good idea.
Definitely, Irish music is not part of my influences. as far as I know. Although my grandparents on my father's side are Galician. So,
Yeah.
north of Spain is not so far.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
There has to be some communication. But then I thought of this a song that doesn't need much introduction. And I feel very ashamed to say that I'm going to at least read the melody and then just change the chords to my liking. Okay, Irish guys, I know you cannot go out and just, drink beer like maniacs all night. Stay home, be safe. But here's some of your music. Happy St. Patrick's.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Was it? Oh, man.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I hope I don't have like 10 Irish guys outside my door waiting to.
No, I see. Mayor at C just gave you three green smiley faces.
Nice.
Yeah, and then you got a smiley face and two hot stoves.
It's a great song.
It's a great song.
It's a great song.
The last time I heard it performed so well was at John McCain, his funeral, and sung there, and very moving to play at a funeral. But it's something about that music. It really strikes a chord. And there's a lot of, actually, when you go back and look at the history of Irish music, a lot of those tonalities show up in the blues. A lot, those minor chords. And so there is actually, the Irish are one of the first big immigrant groups into America. So we had a melding of Irish and English, the melting pot of music. So,
interesting that you mentioned it, because there's a couple of turns in the song that when I was playing it this afternoon a little bit, just jamming on it, I thought they were kind of, very bluesy,
Yeah, totally.
Interesting.
Hey everyone, again, just to reiterate, we are broadcasting live today because in America or around the world, this pandemic is sweeping across the world, and it's really kind of dangerous times, and it's very unnerving times. And, consequently, a lot of musicians like Emilio, others, they're unable to, a lot of gigs have been canceled around the world. It's hard to, when no, you can't go to bars, you can't go to restaurants, you can't see the wonderful live music that's there. So Emilio and I thought we should sort of create this concert series where we feature great artists, talking about their craft and sharing their music with them. And let me just show everyone here. Let me figure out my technology here. So you see here, this is Emilio. You can see where to find more, emiliosolla.com. And you can find him on Facebook. Are you on Instagram?
Yeah, I am. I don't get very much used to using it, but yeah, I am there. I should really, maybe now these days. Yeah, I'll go.
So check him out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. His last album called Puerto's Music from International Waters. It's on CD Baby, and this is great music. There was a song on there, or a piece on there that was nominated in the best arrangement category, and one of my favorite pieces I've heard in the last few years, actually. So check him out online. And if you're listening to this, if you have any questions, drop a comment, drop a like, let us know what you think. Tell us if you like his music, tell us if you like his green sweater. Anything and everything's, so if you don't like something, we can always, we like criticism as well. This is a conversation. So another question here I have is, Emilio, when are you coming to India? Your music is beautiful. Yeah, when are you going to India?
When am I going to India? Anytime, guys. I would love to go. It's one of my in my to-go list. Like, definitely, I would love to go there. I've never been there. I work with a couple of musicians from there, but always in Europe or here in New York. So I love to know that country, definitely.
All right. Do you have another piece for us?
Yeah. Let's close with an up-tempo one, so that to leave everybody comforted, and people don't panic. Okay. Just don't panic. Just follow the guidelines. Stay home as much as possible, because you're taking care of yourself and of the rest of the human beings that sometimes do not have the strength or the good age to pass it, and it will not be just like a flu for them, but a little bit more. So just stay home, be safe. Be conscious of yourselves and of the other ones, and don't panic. Shut up the TV. Just watch news once a day. And that's it. The rest of the time, try to be productive and try to use the time for something good.
Yeah. Hey, before you start, I have a question from Daisy. Daisy is an awesome singer. She was a dreamer featured on the John Diversa record. So she's watching, and she's based in Texas. She wants to know at what age you started playing, and who are your musical influences?
Well, music influences, we covered that a little bit, I think.
Do a quick little summary. Maybe Argentinian
influences.
Yes.
Jorge Cafrune, Mercedes Sosa, Chango Farias Gómez, Jaime Torres, Astor Piazzolla, Dino Saluzzi, Luis Alberto Spinetta, singer-songwriter of the first quality. Yeah. Well, of course, the tango people, like Pugliese, Troilo, all the tango greats, Salgan, Horacio Salgan, great pianists, great, tremendous musicians.
Right.
Yeah.
And what age did you start playing?
At 8 years old. Yeah, I just wanted to play the piano, and I asked my parents to sign me up for some, music course, and that's how I landed in the National Conservatory of Music in Buenos Aires.
Cool. And when did you come to the U.S.?
I went to Barcelona in 96 and to the US in 2006, 13 years ago.
Okay, cool. Let's hear it.
Okay, this is based on a fast tango beat that we call milonga, and this is a very popular one that is called Milonga de Mis Amores.
And by the way, everyone watching, I'm actually holding up my phone because I haven't figured out how to simulcast to IGTV. So first of all, if you have any tech advice for me on how to do that, I would welcome it. But secondly, if you want to get a better feed for what's going on, go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/Kabir Sehgal, KABIRSEHGAL. I'll put the link right here on a comment, and you can actually get a better feed of what Emilio's performing. All right, go ahead, Emilio.
All right. Milonga de Mis Amores.
Yeah, bravo.
Thank you, Kabir. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, of course. Hey, that's Emilio Solla. Let me put this up again so people can see where to find you. Boom. So this is the man, the myth, the legend, live from Brooklyn, New York. This is we're doing this because it's the quarantine time of life. We're all living separately, but Emilio's music is bringing us together. So check him out online, emiliosolla.com. Check out his music. He's on Spotify. He's on CD Baby. He's on Amazon. And yeah, I appreciate everyone for listening.
Second set is coming soon. Let's go to now we go to the bar for a beer. But the bar is here in the kitchen.
Yeah, St. Patrick's Day. I'll toast you with my iced tea. So all right, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Of course. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe and stay positive. Okay, this is gonna go.
All right, take care, buddy.
Love you all. Ciao.
Stop video. Hold on, and